We all know the chicken-picking Johnny Hiland, cowboy hat-wearing, awesome guitarist, but what does the real Johnny Hiland get up to in his spare time?
Oh my goodness, man, that's a fun question, man. I have, I guess the biggest thing, man, would be to spend time with my lovely wife, Kim, and our two little dogs. We have a great home life, and that's kind of hard to brag on, but I love spending time with my wife. I very much love having her a part of my life, and she's probably one of the biggest blessings to me. But as far as what I like to do on my spare time, well, there's a couple of different things. I love to go fishing. I would, if I'm not holding a guitar in my hands, whether I'm in the studio or on the road or what have you, I would prefer to hold a fishing rod and be out on the lake somewhere throwing some line, because there's no better feeling for me to relax, to be out on the lake with a fishing rod and to catch fish. I just really, really enjoy it. And also, I'm an artist. I love to draw, and I used to do some landscape paintings back in the day, when my college days, but I love drawing cartoons, and I've just recently written a children's book called Tough and Friends that you'll probably end up seeing on the road on my merch table. I really want to sell the book on the road and have all the proceeds go to the children's division of the National Federation for the Blind. And I may even find a toy company out there to make a tough bear that we could sell to help St. Jude's kids as well. And so Tough and Friends is a really fun book. I'm really proud that I wrote that, and hopefully it'll inspire kids to want to play music and to never give up on their dream. Now, the other thing that I'm in love with is I collect hats. I have a huge number of ball caps, and I also have recently become a massive watch collector. I have a strong addiction with watches, and I must tell you, it is definitely an addiction. I have found that I always had trouble as a legally blind boy seeing watches. But here just recently, within the past few years, there's a company called Invicta Watches that make oversized watches. It's nothing for them to make a 50-millimeter watch, in diameter, which is really cool. And I am just totally enamored and in love with the quality that they put into their watches. But I also have some, other cool watches in my collection. I have a Breitling watch that's an automatic, which means you have to wind it. And of course, I have some Swiss Legends watches, which are pretty cool. I love Swiss-made timepieces. I really am in love with them, but I must say Invicta is my favorite brand, and I'm probably up to 9 or 10 of those at this point. But I'm just and Renato watches as well. My goodness, I could talk about watches all day, but watches is definitely another addiction for me. And lastly, I must say that I really enjoy working with children. I really love to give back to kids and to really spend a lot of time in my life showing children how cool live music really is. I think in today's society, we spend a lot of time checking out new technology, and I think kids, having computers and video games and all this technology available to them, I don't really know that there's a really strong love for a child to just pick up a musical instrument and want to play. I know back in the day, growing up in a small town, that was one of the only things I could do, and I was really blessed by the gift God's given me to play guitar and music, because I really wouldn't have had anything else in my life. But I really want to show kids that playing live music is fun, invigorating, and you can make a life out of it. You can make a lifestyle out of it. And of course, you may have some people going against that, but I know I've sure had a blessed life from it. But also, I also love to spend time with children, in teaching them. I spend a lot of time instructing kids on guitar and other instruments, and it's just really neat for me to see a child get excited about music, and it really does my heart good. So I've also spent a lot of time building pedal boards and buying guitars for kids these past few years, because it's something I need to do for my own heart, and I definitely think you know what I mean by that. So thank you for that question.
So we all know Johnny Hiland wears his cowboy hat. Can you just tell us a little bit about the cowboy hat and why you wear it, please?
Well, you know, man, I'll put it to you like this. You just recently found that I collect hats, and I really do love them. And, you know, I'm a boy that was raised up in a very small town of Princeton, Maine. And for most Maine folks, you wouldn't expect them to want to wear a cowboy hat. But I was a country boy at heart since I was probably born. I think I might have popped out of my mom with a cowboy hat on because I just really, really loved country music even from an early age. And so I guess the best way I could describe it to you is it's kind of like this alter ego thing where, you know, commonly when you see me out in public or whatever, I'm wearing a ball cap. But the minute I put my cowboy hat on, I'm ready to hit the stage and give you a show. Whether I'm feeling bad, good, or indifferent, it doesn't matter. You know, I guess I was telling a friend of mine the other day, I said, you know, it's like Superman needs his cape to fly, and Johnny Hiland needs his hat to really get on stage and pick. There's just something about it. You know, if you took Superman's cape away, could he fly? Sure. But if you took Johnny Hiland's hat away, could he play on stage? Sure. But is he going to be the most comfortable? No. I have to have the hat, man. It's just how it is. It's matter of fact, I was at the Iridium Jazz Club with Mr. Les Paul a few years back before Les passed, God love him, and he had asked me, you know, about picking, and I said, well, Les, I said, you know, every bit of knowledge is it's all in the hat, Les. It's all in the cowboy hat. So it's, you know, the hat is definitely a part of me as a performer and an artist, and I'm really loving it, man. You gotta, you know, I even have a sign in my cowboy hat that says, hey, don't touch this hat. It doesn't belong to you. So that's how much I want to keep my hat on my head. So I'm just fortunate that I still have hair.
I bet Chris Ledoux was smiling down on you when he heard that.
I bet he did, man.
So I know you've got a new CD coming out soon, and the title to that is All Fired Up. Can you just talk a little bit about the new album?
Yeah, man, I am so proud to be with Shrapnel Records. You know, I spoke with Mike Varney back last December, and he was gung-ho to sign me to Shrapnel, and I was really excited about it. And yet, I was so shocked and surprised as to how fast Mike wanted to get me in the studio. And what I loved about Mike right off the bat was that he has this inner need for a studio and for picking. And, you know, it was wintertime, of course, and you know, the music industry kind of slows down at that time, and I think Mike was just, you know, he was needing some music for his heart and his soul, you know, and actually I was too at the time, you know. But, you know, when I was just shocked to find, you know, how soon he wanted me in the studio. The funny story about the album is that I had explained to Mike that, I said, man, I've spent the last few years writing vocal tunes for a new chicken picking album because I've had a lot of fans asking me for a more country-based album. And he said, oh, no, man, I want instrumental, man. You know, it's Shrapnel Records, you know, it's all about shred. And he said, you know, you're a chicken picking shredder, dude, so let's get you in the studio. And I'm like, well, dude, I got to write this whole album, you know. And so it was funny. He said, well, what's your schedule in January? And I said, well, I have the Winter NAMM show coming up, which is a big highlight in January to get the year rolling. And then I had a few shows to do and a grand opening at the Louisville Guitar Center that I had to perform at. But I can assure you this, by February 15th, I was in the studio recording this new album. So I had basically a month and a half to write a whole album worth of material. And it was, the pressure was on, but it was a challenge and it was motivating and fun. I just had more fun writing this album than any album I've ever done. And All Fired Up is probably the album I'm most proud of, just for the amount of work and the lack of time I had to really put it all together. But literally, it's the best stuff I've ever written, and I really feel that it's because I did have such a time constraint that, you know, I wasn't so fussy with myself. I really, well, I say that. Of course, I know myself. I wanted these tunes to be absolutely perfect, but I really wanted to allow myself to be free to create spontaneous solos, and make them cool in the studio. So I spent time really writing monster hooks and stuff for these songs, and great melody lines for the song structure, if you will. But man, I went to Cotati, California, and to Prairie Sun Studios, and it's on a farm, man. And I got to tell you, to go out to do a shrapnel record in a chicken picking format, I just about was in a state of shock when Jason Macedo, my buddy from the Sound, actually, who went out there with me, when he opened the door one morning and there's a chicken standing there waiting for me, I was just laughing profusely. I thought, man, what a great way to start a chicken picking records, to go have fun with chickens out in the yard. It was really cool. And but I got in the studio with Mike and, of course, the pickers on the album, who I must tell you are all heroes of mine, and I was so blessed to have them on this record. First of all, I had Stu Ham on bass, which who does not love Stu? And then, of course, Jeremy Colson on drums, who plays for Steve Vai, and Billy Idol, who is just, if he isn't one of the best drummers in the world, I don't know what to call him. He is just absolutely phenomenal and a great guy, real fun to hang out with, just like Stu, and so we actually laid down the beds together, and then we brought Jesse Bradman in on keyboards, and Jesse's played for Eddie Money and the band Boston. The list is just tremendous as to who he's played with. So I was really blessed to have him on the album as well. And all I can say, folks, is the energy and the fun factor between all of us musicians was so enormous that you're going to feel it on this album. And that's what I love about it the most. There was no stress, no drama, no nothing to worry about. It was go in the studio and have a ball, and that's exactly what we did. And so this album really has a fun vibe to it, and that's what I love about it the most. But for all you fans out there who have been waiting for a Johnny Hiland chicken picking based album, this is the one you need to latch on to, because I definitely had fun picking, and it shows on this album. And I'm so thankful to Mike Varney for signing me to Shrapnel #1. But the opportunity that he presented me with to make this first album with Shrapnel was just absolutely a blast. And really can't wait for the album release date, which is in July. And really hope you folks go pick it up, and really appreciate all the support out there from my fans, and really just I'm just itching for this album to come out. So I really can't wait for y'all to get a chance to hear it.
So who helped you in the studio with the new album, Johnny?
Well, man, I'll be honest with you. I had the boys, that played in the band. I had Stu and Jeremy and Jesse and Mike and a bunch of folks around the studio. But man, the engineer on the album was a guy named Jason Battavio, and he was very helpful to me in the studio. About I never had to worry about miking amps or anything like that. He was really on top of that. And of course, we ended up not using any mics at all, to be honest. We used the direct out on the bolt amp. But as far as, helping me get situated and that kind of thing, Jason Battavia was always there. But I really do have to thank Jason Macedo for coming out there to Cotati with me. We got a chance to really hang out together, which was really cool, because when I had teamed up with him to do the sound, we had mostly talked via phone. We had met at a previous show, I think a few years back, but we didn't really have a chance to get to know one another on a more personal level. And but he come out, and Jason really helped me out a lot in the studio. I mean, to basically get me from point A to point B when we had to walk from the on-site house we were staying in to get to the studio and stuff like that. Just make sure I didn't fall and break my neck, that kind of thing, But also, Jason was wonderful about helping to make sure my pedal board was working great. Everything was set up the way I needed. And man, he would run and grab me, a Pepsi or whatever I needed, and it was just, it was awesome to have him there as a friend. But also, he really did bless me while I was there doing that album. So I'm very grateful to Jason as well.
So I know you mentioned, so you just mentioned the Sound Guitar magazine. So could you just tell me a little bit how you met Jason and got involved with the Sound magazine?
Well, you know, it's really funny, man. Jason had called me to do an interview, actually, and he was trying to get a hold of me through my former manager, and he actually gave him my number, and Jason gave me a call, and we kind of did a preliminary phone call, if you will, about getting to know each other a little bit. And he was kind of feeling me out about questions and stuff to ask, and I, man, we must have talked for 5 or 6 hours together. I think, we just connected so much as friends instantly. And of course, Jason's a, massively adept jazz and rock guitar player himself, and has had a great career thus far himself. And he and I really related to each other, about different things that have happened in our career and our careers, and also, what our goals are for guitar in general. I think when you become a guitar artist, if you will, and it becomes your life, you live, eat, sleep, and breathe guitar. So it's not just something that you do; it's who you are. Guitar is just the most massive thing in your life. So I was sharing with him the fact that, I'm like, man, I really don't like downtime. When wintertime comes and the road dates slow down and the industry kind of slows down, it's a very hard time of year for me. And I've just recently lost both of my parents, and I've lost a lot of family members these last few years. And I was actually faced with a bit of a depression, and wintertime can definitely bring that out of you. And Jason and I just, I just opened myself up to him, which I don't normally do for most people, but he has really become a brother to me, and we talk every day, whether we talk about the mag or not. It's just a blessing to have him in my life, man. And but when he shared with me with what he was really doing with the magazine, I was just really intrigued to find his depth of passion for guitar and what he was really trying to reach for in offering people, through the magazine. And the more we talked, the more intrigued I got, and really shared, my vested interest in what he was doing. And then, of course, after we did the actual interview, we talked further, and he invited me to team up as a partner with him for the Sound. And man, I'm really massively glad I did. Jason and I talk virtually every day, whether we talk about the mag or not, but it's such a passion for both of us. I must say, I live, eat, sleep, and breathe guitar, and it's, whether I'm holding one, playing one in the studio, or playing live, or, what have you. I love to live guitar. So, to have the connection with the magazine and be able to write articles on other guitar players and to review gear and to do lessons for the mag, stuff like that, it's invigorating for me. It really does something great for my heart, which is a wonderful thing. You have to fulfill your happiness, and really that's one of the keys for me was to really spend time this past winter, which winter can depress an artist, because it's the time when the industry slows down quite a bit, and Jason and I had talked in October, and of course, I fired up with him on the magazine, in mid-November, and gosh, I spent the whole winter with him just talking about, what we were going to do, and, how we were going to proceed with things, and then I just jumped in with both feet trying to help him achieve what he was needing to achieve. And I'm just really blessed to be with the Sound Guitar magazine. It's it's the best magazine I have ever read myself. And I think what I love about the mag the most is that we, with Jason and I both being artists in our own right, we, even though we come from different genres, we still love many of the same guitar players. But we're fans, but at the same time, being artists, we understand what it is to be an artist, and when we interview folks, we really try to, offer them a real laid-back, informal, comfortable setting for them to do their interview, and I think that shows in the interviews every month, and it's really a joy to see how much information can be let loose with from people who are comfortable. And you don't commonly see that in any other guitar magazine, and I'm really proud of that aspect of the mag. But also, Jason and I love gear too. So we have a lot of great companies who help support the magazine, and Jason and I really love to bless those who help us. And it's fun to check out new gear, and to have a lot of companies calling, wanting to support the mag is a wonderful thing. But we have companies who send in gear and ask for reviews, and it's a lot of fun. And of course, I love to teach. So, Jason calls me, man, I need 5 or 6 licks. And so I grab a guitar and we do it. It's just really fun. The magazine has done a wonderful thing for my soul, and I'm just really proud to be a part. And for those of you who have not checked it out yet, I strongly urge you to go to the Sound website, which is www.thesound-guitarmagazine.com, and download the newest issue. And for those of you who are unaware, we're definitely going to print here real soon, and there's some cool stuff in the works for 2011 with the Sound Guitar Magazine. We're growing exponentially every single month, and I just really extend a thank you out to Jason for making me a part of this. It's done a wonderful blessing for me, and I'm real grateful for that.
So, thank you so much. It's been such an amazing interview. I am so chuffed to bits that you took the time out to speak to me. So I'd just like to say a big thank you to Jason Macedo from the Sound magazine, and also the awesome Johnny Hiland for taking the time to do this little interview. So I do really appreciate it, guys. So thank you very much. Okay, thanks.
Well, Colin, I'm really grateful, man, for this interview. It's been it's a lot of fun. I have actually toured Europe, and looking forward to doing so again, man. And hopefully I'll get a chance to meet you in person. It would be wonderful. But I guess in closing, what I would love to share with everybody is, number one, how grateful I am to be a part of this industry and to be able to play guitar for a living. It's the biggest blessing of my life, and to work with Jason in the Sound Guitar magazine, that's really the part that's completed my musical journey, if you will, up until this point in my life. But I really need to extend my thanks to all the fans out there, all the guitar fans who love guitar as much as I do, and who will continue to go out and buy new guitar albums, and to support the love for guitar like they do. All the folks that come out to the shows and continue to buy our records. I'm just very grateful to all you folks out there. And of course, with the new Shrapnel record coming out in July, the album's called All Fired Up, and I'm sure I'll be touring the album. Actually, I'm touring Europe in September, actually, to hopefully to support the album as soon as it comes out, and look forward to that. But I'm very grateful to everybody, and Colin, thank you so much for this opportunity, man. It's just it's fantastic, and I really appreciate your time, man. It's been a lot of fun for me. Man, I must also wish you the best of luck with your YouTube channel, and again, I'm really grateful for you having me a part of it, man. God bless you.